Well, it's come down to a game 2 where for RNG, Karsa had the performance of his lifetime as usual, which doesn't really make it a performance of a lifetime, does it? No, it does not. Welcome back to Beijing. Welcome back to Hysterics and Raz. Great time to be here, Raz. I thought, well, I have just cooked it, haven't I?
You said so many things. I don't know why that's the one that I just love the most.
I say a lot. I say a lot. Welcome back to RNG and DMO, where RNG have taken one late game fight and took it all by the end after getting triple Infernal, double Mountain, and then stole the Elder. And then there was a fight that just was unwinnable by DMO. Unwinnable.
But still, as I said, Dominus being able to pick up the first fight around Baron buff and being able to play around GALA, that's a great glimpse in what they could do.
Yeah.
What is possible. But, as you can see, it's pretty damn difficult. It is definitely hard to be able to upset RNG for a few reasons. Reason number one is Karsa, once again, was able to adapt on the fly, on the go, being able to pick up that defensive, that counter gank, I suppose, on the bot side of the map really early on. And so it's moments like those that actually just remind you of how good of a player that he is, how good of a player is their bot lane worth to be able to stall enough time so he can be there.
Yeah, and how good RNG is, I guess it comes back to the point where RNG is a team coming into summer, expectations to fill out the void that was left by their spring playoff run.
And I just want to see what they can do going forward, because you saw the signs in the fan. A lot of people believe this team can make that run in playoffs.
Yeah.
Can be. Go back to that whole championship run that they had in 2018.
That's right.
And I mean, with Langx, I think that's definitely possible. One of the best things about the RNG menu is that you look towards the very back of it, and you see the jerseys of Let Me, MLXG.
There's a tie as well.
Exactly. And a lot of those players, I'll say more importantly in Let Me, very much I think that style, that level of play, it's Langx that exhibits that.
Yeah.
So if they can go back to that idea where they are incredibly flexible, they can play towards multiple lanes as carries, or even allow Langx to play a more defensive nature, a defensive game, play back, absorb as much pressure as possible. That's something they can do as well. But you see one player on Dominus.
And now he's back. This is going to be the sub out from Aitong. Xiaopeng is starting game 2. And this is the Nidalee player through and through, the unique Nidalee player in the LPL.
Yeah. When we had our discussions last split about jungle rankings, Xiaopeng was a top 3 jungler. And I still hold him to a high regard. Mechanically speaking, he is an excellent player. The only question was just about the communication breakdown the team had, and Xiaopeng looked bad because across the board, their solo lanes weren't really giving him as much as he wanted. So I still think between Aitong and Xiaopeng is the better player.
100% agree.
I just want to see what he can do going up against, Karsa going into the next game. There's a lot of pressure on him, and I want to be able to see if there is that level of adaptation that they can now have with this jungler online.
It comes back to the conversation about top laners as well. If you're talking about DMO and the way Natural is, Xiaopeng, his ability to play aggressive, to rely on that solo lane in the top side, and Natural being that great addition, if he can't strike through Langx, if they can't find a weakness in the side of the map and exploit it further, then RNG will get to that point where they can run over neutral objectives and take over the game.
Now, thankfully, Dominus, spoiler alert, blue side, means that they can at least get a good priority pick for themselves, get a good pick for, I would say, top lane.
Yep.
I say top lane, even though you can counter pick for top lane and you'd want RNG to be able to counter pick for top lane, but it's RNG. And I think they should be able to get Natural the best lane possible because of that fact. So we'll see what draft looks like. If RNG ends up giving, high resources towards the bot side once more, and if they allow Dominus to be able to play through jungle and top lane and give him that shot in the early game.
Because I really like draft from both teams, and I'm not trying to be a pacifist sit on the fence. I think it was decent drafts that supported how DMO have been playing in the past and how this win streak started. But now coming into game 2, does it end here, Raz? Will RNG be the ones that take it away from DMO and put them to their 8th loss?
Jace is still up and available. I would expect RNG to go right back towards that with how successful it was in the last game.
Tom Kench there as well. We saw the Karma first pick here for DMO last time around on blue side. So
I wonder if Tom Kench is going to be the pickup by Natural. Tom Kench is still a pretty heavy priority here in the LPL. It's incredibly good mid-game just because of how mobile it makes your team really. And how active your AD carry can be in a lot of the strategies just because not only is the AD carry able to shove out in the primary lane, but also now you get drop shipped into the team fight whenever it happens any area near you.
Sure. Played last game around by Ming. This time RNG looking
Lock
very
it in.
differently. Sylas left up and available. The Gragas is also there, but the Sylas this time around. Let's find out where the Sylas is going this time.
That's a great point. I want it to be the jungle.
Okay.
I think jungle Sylas makes a lot more sense. You want to be able to empower Langx and Xiaohu as much as possible. My concern is this first pick Corki is a first pick Corki for a reason. Don't expect it to be in the mid lane. I expect it to also go towards Natural up top side. So I don't want Natural just to get a klepto lane, something that he can farm out and get to that late game pretty easily.
Well,
I want to be able to see RNG play towards that. But yeah, there's a Jarvan locked in.
at the very least, I'm sorry, Raz. So you're going to get a solid lane once again. I saw a champion I haven't seen in a very long time outside of TFT, but we won't be looking at that. Instead, the bottom lane here, GALA and Mark have been one of the few players still playing Xayah Rakan. And with one element, you have to have the other. Let's match it up.
We got some ADs. And I'm not talking about them Twitch ads.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dominus being able to play around, you know, both Xayah and Corki, and in the late portion of the game, it's a lot of damage to be able to deal with. So I want to see RNG beef up a little bit more.
Okay, maybe you're just going to put Uzi on something a bit passive in lane. But of course, the Ezreal, he's been favoring a lot recently.
Look, Uzi with Ezreal is never passive.
That's true. That's a very good point.
I say this because he really redefines how Ezreal's supposed to play in a lane. I remember you talked to a few supports or AD carries out there, like, that was a while back, where you were seeing tier cull in every lane and everyone despised that. Because a lot of the ideas behind it is, I'm just going to get to my minion count, I'll try and farm up the lane and I'll have more gold. I just don't have that Sheen proc early on to have damage within the lane. Uzi still did that and still came up with large CS margins. So Ezreal just has good range into the Xayah matchup. So I'm expecting him to lock this in. Really looking towards Ming to have a strong support so they can actually take hold of the laning phase itself.
What do you consider strong support? Tom Kench is taken away.
Sadly, Tom Kench, yeah, was taken
Ming
away.
has been the only one playing Thresh, by the way, but whether that's relevant here in this matchup, I'm sure we'll soon find out.
So Graggy Ice is still up and available.
Yeah.
And Gragas is a great lane into the Rakan.
Ooh, yeah.
Ming is a wonderful Gragas player.
One of the few playing that as well.
Give me a Gragas. Give me a Gragas support.
Morgana's taken, so that's still available.
Yeah, he's smiling for a
he's
reason.
like, do it. He's saying,
Yeah, I like that idea.
Because then you have a solo lane to pick up. But you know what? Actually, not mad. The best Alistar in the LPL is this man.
That's not for the lane, though.
Don't care. Best Alistar in the LPL is this man.
Alistar matches the Rakan lane simply because if Rakan ever finds an engage, you can disengage quite easily with a headbutt. Or at least with a pulverizer. Literally both.
And you can turn it around.
Yeah, so that's something that you can take note of. But now you have an Ezreal Alistar, which works fantastically later on in the game.
Especially with the Jarvan and the Sylas. But let's take note of what DMO are going for, because Elise in for Xiaopeng.
Lock it in.
Such an aggressive player, and this would pair nicely with it.
I don't care if it's blind. A blind Jax is the best Jax. And I may be also making that charge claim blind as well. I just want to see a Jax again, but Aatrox is such a... Yeah, I'll say it. Broken champion. He's a very strong champion. He's a great blind
said it before.
pick.
You said I was...
Look.
Okay, when you say it. Okay.
I'm just putting that out there. I think it was handled very well in the last time we saw it, simply because like lockdown pressure is always positive. They won't necessarily have that with the Akali locked in, but the Alistar is actually really, you know, a good pick into an Aatrox anyway.
Yep.
So they still got that for team fights.
I like that we see Langx on this Akali. We'll find out where that gets placed in the end, but of course Sylas into Corki has been seen as pretty decent, but of course in that top lane, Langx this time taking it into natural. Let's see how it's played in the hands of an RNG top laner.
I wonder if it's going to be a fleet footwork pickup. I'm always interested in what an Akali chooses to go for in some of these lanes, because this is still a pretty tough lane for an Akali. If you think about how the Aatrox wants to play it out, the moment the Shroud comes through, start spamming those Qs, dog.
Yeah.
Because you have a pretty good idea of where the Akali is in that queue to begin with, and you should be able to have that sweet spot locked in at least in one of those. As long as you don't have a long lane, and this is where the true concern lies. If you have yourself a longer lane to deal with, Akali's chase down is pretty damn good. The setup that the jungler will have alongside her is even better. So you always have to concern yourself if you make that crucial misstep against an Akali, that she can snowball pretty easily.
Like we saw in that last game, Natural was huge. It was just that last team fight where it was let down of Natural finding a way into the back line and finding safety. RNG this time shifting around, and we once again see another lane of Sylas, this time in the mid lane. So I like that RNG is still willing to pick this up, and it's not just that one jungle wonder.
Let's see what the matchup is. It's going to be the Corki, and we've seen a lot of great Sylas play into Corki.
Yes.
It's actually a really good matchup for the Sylas in most situations. If it's a fleet footwork, then it depends. We'll see what the 2v2 looks like. But we're going straight into game 2 for RNG versus Dominus.
Death's Door. Dominus need wins. They need to continue their run. For RNG, they want placement into the semi-finals, and they're traveling that way. It's currently 9-2. If they win this series, Raz, it'll be 10. And that's 2 digits.
God, please save me.
How? How am I meant to?
Hey, the laugh is just a great play, just taking place of the RNG chants.
Yeah.
Just imagine the RNG
Imagine the
chants.
crowd here. Imagine the crowd going wild. Good way to get into this second game, of course, with RNG's lead already in this series, and the way that the last game ended was very exciting as we didn't even get game sound this time around. Oh, it's quiet. There's a little bit. Why is there no music?
You expect music?
The Summoners Rift music, yeah.
You turn that music off. At least I do.
Don't.
I do.
Why
would you listen to that type of music?
You're almost bad as Preacher. Preacher turns voices off, character voices. Now that's horrible.
That's just random.
That's weird. Yeah. As Uzi gets engaged on here, quick engage in the bottom lane, but that's what a Xayah Rakan does, level 1.
Yeah, a lot of great damage, level 1. Level 2 is even better as well.
Uzi trades back though, so okay.
Yeah, that's what you essentially expect. Play it behind the minion wave just because the Ezreal Qs are going to be a constant. And then this is the type of damage that you want to be able to throw down. So, once again, good push in the lane. You don't want the trade back to come through. This is why I love watching Ezreal versus Xayah in these matchups.
Where are you going?
I mean, nothing literally should be happening here. I actually have no idea why he'd be walking in that direction.
But I'm telling you, there's normally music because it is
yeah,
very
there
quiet
is normally music. Just don't make it obvious.
Ah, sorry.
Just calm down.
No,
our voice is literally music, and just take it as such.
Okay. Now that's a bit nuts.
But anyways, I'm a narcissistic person. Good invade to be able to catch Karsa in this area.
Blue almost resets itself, but Karsa doesn't have the smite available, so Rakan backs away, still picks it up.
He just didn't have much information. It's always what you're playing with. If Karsa's on blue and you see the Rakan coming forward, your first question is, where's Xiaopeng?
Wow.
Is this a deeper invade? And this is what I was talking about with the, the 1v1 versus the Corki. It's going to be a Klepto Corki. Last time we saw it was literally Xiaohu in the opposite of the matchup. Xiaohu was playing the Corki, Knight was playing the Sylas, and it was the Sylas pick that was actually just running wild on the Corki simply because of that extra bit of damage that the Corki can't really deal with. But at least he has a great amount of sustain, as you can see.
Yep.
Potions galore that he's going to be able to chunk down on.
Biscuit's also there. Xiaohu, the ability to electrocute, get those quick trades, and then heal back up with the Inspiration second is there. Twilla respecting the matchup, and Karsa coming in from a very interesting angle. This gank path is magnificent, but the Scott and Duck will actually connect, and Xiaohu goes a little bit far forward and dodges away from the Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike won't be there, but the cripple here to slow them down. Karsa takes a bit of damage, but Xiaopeng here for the response.
But if you're Xiaohu, you definitely take those. you just got 2 big W's on that one. Not only did you get the extra bit of damage on top of Twilla, so now he's feeling pretty hurt. You got a chunk on his mana because you had the Valkyrie away. Like, across the board, that's just pressure now being handed to Xiaohu.
Yep. Going to be able to push out this matchup. Twila's backing, has teleport in hand, though, but Karsa again. Walks up the river. Natural being careful, but not careful enough.
He's got a little bit of sustain off his passive, so Aatrox should be fine, but
wow.
oh no.
Great shuriken flip. Natural has to flash immediately. Karsa coming up, burning that. Ming burns his own down the bottom lane as a Blade Caller doesn't lock down Uzi, but DMO really handing this match up down here.
Yeah, Dominus has been very good about playing through the wave and the bot side of the map. But, I mean, Ezreal has been CSing well, so he's still been able to get that. The only change is, and my challenge, is to have Xiaopeng start to really take note of what's been happening bot lane. Because then you can turn that into a dive possible and force RNG's hand. You want to be able to do that, and it really does start through mid lane. Xiaohu's been able to shove, Xiaohu's been able to push down pressure, and you want to be able to perturb that so you then can look towards the bot side of the map and look for a great dive. So we'll see what the challenge is going to be if we get a little bit more of Xiaopeng.
I love that Xiaohu, as you mentioned, pushing out the wave, was able to drop that ward towards Raptors as well. And now eyes from RNG on top of Xiaopeng. Knows he's towards the bottom side. And with a Mountain Dragon there as well, you expect that the bottom side priority is going to continue here, as we were talking about before. Some of the quicker trades we saw here, Langx just getting his face into natural as he electrocute Aatrox tries to find his mark. But Xiaopeng towards mid lane now with Mark at the ready.
All right, but remember, Xiaohu has flash and a dash with Abscond, so I don't like this whatsoever.
Pings are going down. Xiaopeng's backing away Mark as well. Ming hasn't been spotted in the lane, so really good match here from RNG. They won't scry them out with the Blossom, whatever that thing is called.
Scryer's Blossom.
Bloom, I think it is. One of the things. As Mark now shown back in the bottom lane, so you're going to find an Alistar moving down here with a Jarvan.
All right, let's go for it.
Not warded. Mark is like, is he there?
But Mark can play this one recklessly because he has that extended range to be able to just go straight back to GALA. It's GALA that's in a really dangerous position.
Well, Blade Caller used as well, but Karsa and Ming spotted out. Hex flash over the wall.
All right, there we go. They didn't want to go for it. They didn't have eyes on the Lee Sin, so that would be added risk knowing that Xiaopeng could come in with the assist.
As you can take Dragon, Sonic Wave doesn't start it up, but still walking out as the Dragon gets pulled out.
Hey, you too. The Wrath of Dragon is always fun.
Yeah. Really just goes out of his way, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. At least he's being
Look
attacked
at him.
now.
Where are you? Really quick take, though, from DMO to start the Dragon out, to commit to it. Karsa backed away, and now is not going to be in position, so DMO need to get this done and get out alive.
All right, let's see if teleports are... No,
Sonic Wave there, they do secure. Ming goes in for the engage. Xiaopeng flashes away, so dumb over Xiaohu. Has to do the same. This for RNG is a big fight, a long length. Uzi isn't able to find the kill, and DMO get out, burn a lot of summoners, but they get the Dragon.
Triple flash for that Mountain Dragon. Most would say not worth. That now RNG has the window to be able to look through plays on bot lane, knowing that both Mark and GALA are going to be playing back. Like, that's a great sense of opportunity now for RNG in the future. But at least you got the Dragon.
Yep.
Dominus has at least got that one locked down.
Well, Xiaopeng was able to back away. The fact that he didn't die, he can walk back into his red side, then go for the clear top. Mountain Dragon's great, but you're not going to get the same RNG that you got in game number 1. Ocean's going to be the second take. You're never going to get those Dragons again. I'm just going to put that out there.
All right. Never say never.
Triple Infernal, double Mountain.
I think another wise man once said that.
Is that you again? Are you quoting yourself? You're
No.
quoting yourself, aren't you?
No, there's one great person that once said, never say never.
Who is it? Clement.
It's Bieber.
It's just horrible. Yeah, take that.
He's a man of culture.
Or Clement. Oh, Bieber. No, sorry.
Both.
Yes.
I like that you quickly switched away from Clement.
No, just in
Is
case.
that you trying to? You have some pent up frustration with Clement?
No, I'm trying to compliment
Oh,
Clement,
yeah,
you know?
okay, yeah.
Pent up frustration.
I'm just putting that out there.
That's what happens when the music goes away.
Some psychiatrists would, take a deeper meaning for that.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm not going to a psychiatrist. Luckily, you're not a psychiatrist.
Luckily, you're not. Oh, okay. All right.
Well, as far as I know, great flag and drag, instant flash. This is just clean, but Natural survives long enough until Langx says no. First blood over to RNG.
Yeah, really well timed. Just being able to get the gank through wave. Just the fact that Natural, of course, didn't have that trinket in the bushes, so didn't know that he was coming through the lane bush. A lot of the times you only get to choose one bush in which you want to protect yourself from, and he chose very much reasonably so the tri-bush, but he got pushed in pretty easily by the Akali. So you'd like to be able to see RNG recognize that and then take steps around that and being able to get that gank.
And Akali in lane's going to have a great time from here on. The Cutlass picked up, the Seeker's Armor Guard was the defensive pickup earlier on. So moving back to lane, now the Aatrox is actually swapping. Look at where Natural is, heading towards the bottom side. They want to shift early.
I want to see what that turns into, because remember, it's 9 minutes into the game. Dual lane going up topside makes a lot of sense so they can get that early start at Rift Herald. RNG last game swapped at the right time, recognizing that was going to be the case. This time around are pretty slow to the punch, so you want to be able to see Xiaopeng start on it immediately.
That's an instant 10-minute start to Rift Herald. The Sonic Wave was timed as it spawned. But that ward from RNG that's just about to expire, that'll spot out DMO. That'll also give information to Langx that he needs to push out the wave and back away.
It just literally doesn't matter at this point. Just because RNG was so slow to the punch that they're not going to be able to contest or even start the fight immediately afterwards, which is usually the go-to. If you know you're not going to be able to take the Rift Herald, at least push the team off of it so they can't take it or take it for free. But that was a pretty free one coming in from Dominus.
So do you remember what happened in game 1 where we saw the Rift Herald go to DMO once again at 12 minutes in the game? And Xiaopeng was not able to execute with it and use it with turret plating. This time, he has 4 minutes.
Hysterics, he didn't swap. He's hunting for prey. But that prey ain't taking the bait.
Nope.
GALA says hell no.
He just disappears.
I don't want to touch that wave with a 10-foot pole.
That's well played. They don't see anyone in the bottom lane. They go, look, we need to wait until we see lane allocation.
What? They assigned Ezreal down bot side?
We're continuing on. RNG's like, the hell with it.
They're trading sides knowing that they're just slower. Like, literally outright. If they become, push on turret, Akali's shirt can actually hold the wave pretty well because she has Shroud. But it's on such a high cooldown.
Yeah.
And then when it's on the wave itself, like, you already see Ezreal can't get close towards the Aatrox. Now, thankfully, Dominus are just going to swap because they want to force the lane matchup. They're already doing well in those setups, and they don't want to allow RNG to trade any resources. But I just think it's a win-win situation for Dominus.
Yeah.
Now, Dragon's still going to be the focus, so that also plays into it all. So Dominus is going to be there to at least force the shove through bot lane and maybe contest for the Dragon when it's going to come up.
Especially since RNG getting caved on here by DMO. The vision now controlled. Dragon, as you mentioned, spawning in 5 seconds. RNG gets the shove out in that bottom lane, but no turret plating. I'm still waiting for that Rift Herald here from Xiaopeng. Because he's towards the bottom side now, looking for an entrance. Ming has the ability to pop him back. There's the Sonic Wave, the ult pop, the quickness is there. Ming pops him up, Unbreakable Will. So far for DMO, this is not good as Xiaopeng has been caught out. Missed execution, he'll die on his way in. Uzi picking up the kill, now Natural wants a taste.
Look, even if it was executed 100% well, Ming is still going to take those. Even if you get the pop-up on him, he's taking 50%. He's taking that reduced damage. There's no reason to be going all in for the Alistar. They just didn't have a proper choice. You go towards the Ezreal. Ezreal can move out, but they're going to be focusing on this Dragon.
That's a world ender. Karsa, are you dead here? Cataclysm down, gets dumped to mid. Execution ring as Dragon's going to go down, secured by the Corki, but RNG have the numbers advantage here. And Mark even hitting on the backside isn't good as Twilla now looking for an escape. Don't go over the wall. You will die. It's a flash before the Shuriken flip.
We need just a montage of junglers dying to the Ocean Dragon.
Yeah.
That's what we need. It's been 3 times for the past 2 weeks that junglers that have started the Ocean Dragon just outright have died to it.
I think we can agree the worst one, though, was definitely Ning.
We had 2 of them with Ning.
Yes.
So
yes,
2 times it was Ning. This time it was Karsa.
Yep.
It happens.
To the best of us, apparently, is here we go. Rift Herald finally going to be dropped down. We have 30 seconds left remaining. So this time, Herald with turret plating, but RNG are bringing Karsa back to the bottom lane.
All right. It's a lot of damage on the cow, too. Doesn't have his ultimate ready, so this is actually going to be a lot.
Yep.
Get them dishes out.
Over to Xiaopeng and to Mark. Did GALA get some of that? I feel like he did. But RNG, Ming's at half health. Xiaohu's coming in. He hasn't been spotted yet.
A lot of gold going over towards Dominus on that one, so there we go. I mean, early game, looking pretty damn good based off the few takes that Dominus has had.
And this time they've got objective control. This time they're getting the elementals. We'll have a look again at Ming's absolute love.
Yeah, of course he's going to eat that. Even if the knockup comes through, Alistar says, all right, oh, that's completely fine. We got the TPs coming immediately afterwards. It just didn't make much sense. And then the response, the clap pack, you know?
Yeah.
Karsa's like, ah, no. I've seen this a few times in the LPL. I just got caught with my pants down. At least there was immediately like a respawn coming in from RNG, so they were able to push them off. You're right about Twilla waiting a little bit before going over the wall. You don't want Akali being able to get that free drain.
No, especially when Langx is already 2-0. Picked up a kill off the back of that last trade. I'd say getting dangerously close towards the Hextech Gunblade. But speaking of first items, Corki with the Trinity Force as well, as he's found out Ming. Yep, good night, good way. Okay. Just backing away. No need to use a package to go in. Xiaohu was nearby, and Uncharted is, well,
3 plates being taken down in the bot lane, and you were right in questioning if GALA was able to pick up that cash. Seems like he didn't receive that bundle.
So now the Lee Sin has 320 gold extra.
He is jacked.
But
that is a strong Lee Sin.
Yep, which is good. But when does it come into effect?
Right now.
Right now? Good.
Right.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
He's towards the top side. Level 9. Kick available. Flash there as well. Xiaopeng
I
on
don't care if they see you. Kick them.
Oh,
they left.
They just left.
They don't want to fight him. They know how much gold is in his pockets.
More turret gold there. Mark even up here as well.
Give it to him. Give them everything.
Akali's going back.
In the Rift, you literally can't, like the enemy team can't mug you technically.
Mug you?
Yeah, so the best way to allow the enemy team to mug you is to just give them turret and run.
Yeah,
so
give them what they want.
Basically, that's what happened. You know?
And call for backup later, right?
There is no backup in a mugging.
Well,
you just lose.
You never know.
No, I do. I don't know how to put it.
Stealing away what you can. This is the top lane that now exposed, opened up, longer lane. The Akali here with the Hextech Gunblade. I feel like would still be okay against Natural. Definitely since Black Cleaver versus Gunblade, but with the Seeker's Armor Guard, that extra bit of advantage. Resistance over the Aatrox. I'd love to see that 1v1.
Whenever there's an Akali on the field, it always brings that element of, like, you know, every matchup is a skill matchup. How well can you play in those situations? Especially when the Aatrox is queuing blind.
Yeah.
And both of them have near infinite sustain in those journeys. So I want to see not only right now, but also when you get, you know, extra bit of item coming through on the Aatrox, but we're seeing an engage.
Yeah, that's the stealing of the quickness with the Blade Caller coming back in. Instant engage here from RNG, and the execution was swiftest.
Langx,
perfect execution, wants to take down Mark. He's already used the first element of surprise, and the second one goes awry.
Yeah, realized that it's too dangerous to go in between those two towers, and wants to play this one back.
Ooh, Sonic Wave connecting was going to be an instant flash from Karsa, no doubt, as Twilla teleports to the mid lane.
All right, but you know what time it is?
We dragon time, yeah.
Yeah, it's Mighty Morphin Dragon time.
Infernal. Let's heat it up, Raz. Got vision control here from RNG, they know.
We just kind of swarm to it like the fireplace at this stage. Yeah. RNG wants to get there, but obviously
not a TP.
That's not their zone. It's not their territory.
GALA walking up. Where are RNG going? Towards the top side. They're like, hey, forget the dragon. Who cares? Let's get top side turret.
All right. First dragon there eludes them. Let's see if we roll the dice. Ah, Ocean Dragon.
Ocean, okay.
All right, it's okay.
Hey, you're still getting all the elementals. And
what happened to Xiaohu?
He found Mark.
Yep. And then the question was more so the follow-up, too. I wanted to see what the follow-up would be, since a whole lot of damage to be able to get the kill on GALA. The follow-up was Langx, but take a look at the fact that he realized that's way too much of a committal. Rakan would certainly live, even if I threw an R2. So he's like, all right, I'll take a step back. I'll let you go. I'll find my way back, and guess what? We still got the pick anyways.
Yep.
So RNG is still pretty damn happy after that.
Yeah, great ult from Uzi as well, who's gone Trinity Force. We'll talk about that in a second while RNG defend their mid lane turret. Sonic Wave onto Xiaohu while Uzi's working away this turret by himself. 300 gold to the carry Ezreal.
This guy is literally eating as much experience in solo minion waves as possible.
What's new?
200 CS.
Again?
Like, just stop it. At this stage, it's frustrating everybody when they can just see an Ezreal taking experience and turret goal to himself. And it's like, can we do anything? And the answer is always no.
Manamune, Trinity Force. It's going to be a Muramata very soon. It's 19 minutes in the game, and I expect that there's going to be a big 2-item Uzi, who, yeah, you're right again. We're up to that 10.7 CS a minute once more.
We'll still say, though, that even better two-item advantage that GALA will get for himself the moment he locks in that Infinity Edge.
Yep.
I mean, lethal tempo just allows you to be able to take that effort, go towards, you know, double AD items that you don't need to go towards the attack speed. And you can play around, which is a whole boatload of just feather damage. So, a lot Dominus can play through with GALA and Twilla, not only incredibly safe with their picks, but also just a lot of damage that they can throw down on the receiving end. So, let's see what RNG does in response. Maybe we get a fight down here.
Yeah, Natural wants to take the 1v1, but we'll see. Sonic Wave onto Uzi in the mid lane, while DMO might be caught out. Ming goes in for the gauge once the turret's down. Package used. Ming at half health as Blades will fly, bring him back in. Langx comes in. Perfect execution of GALA with TP through as well. Natural's here to re-engage. Great ult by the Rakan. He slithers his way out, but RNG is so damn low. Xiaohu now has to escape as Natural still wants to take the fight, but it's over. DMO won it.
Just don't sit on that Corki package. Langx found that out the hard way. He had to flash out, he had to use his, like, essentially everything to get the hell out of there. Really well done by Dominus. Twilla was able to eat in a lot of pressure, bolted out with his package, and then someone just sat in it within the shroud.
Yeah.
So, those are the big boo-boo moments that you don't want to see from RNG.
Definitely not. As Langx gets out in the end. A couple of flashes burned during that trade, but for DMO, a net win, able to move back towards the Baron. Reset, go back, pick up those items. There's no Infinity Edge just yet for the 80 carry that we're talking about.
There's a lot of AP on the side of RNG, so expect
Very true.
Uzi to be going towards the Blade of the Rune King type build. He needs to even that out a little bit more, so it makes a lot of sense that he would be going in that direction. And another thing as well, you can already see that being alluded to with the Trinity Force instead of the Iceborne Gauntlet. But another point as well is, with this game pace, expect it to be a little bit slower. I mean, it's already been the case. But neither team, once again, is going to be comfortable going for a Baron Rush with the team that they have. Unless if Aatrox is with the team is rotating, but we're not in the LCS, so it's literally going to be heavily focused on side lanes for both of these guys.
Yeah.
And they're going to just use those windows properly.
And look at how deep Natural is as well, up towards the blue buff, taking this away. He actually has the edge on any of these 1v1s as Uzi comes over. He does take it.
Nice, thank you for the leash.
I mean, Arcane Shift actually does a hell of a lot of damage, as you'll be maxing that second. Its flat ratios are pretty bonkers, to be honest.
You got it with the auto attack. You had the Muramata proc, so definitely helped on that one.
As the Vampiric Scepter now, as you're alluding to, Blade of the Wrong King. But curious to see where else this build goes. Uzi's at 250 CS, by the way. It continues to go up. RNG towards the river. This time, the Ocean Dragon in 50 seconds. They're thinking about it.
And it's one of those situations. You saw RNG allow Dominus to be able to get Infernal Dragon last time around and give him the triple dragon. They're willing to do that because they recognize their composition is still going to be in a pretty healthy spot. That they can still take these fights, and the next dragon or the Baron fight that comes forward is going to be their focus. So RNG, I still think, while they're in a pretty good spot, they still require, like, Zhonya's on both Langx and Xiaohu, and then they also require the Blade of the Rune King from Uzi. So being able to give this dragon away, I think, is still a smart decision. We'll see what the call is going to be.
Maybe feeling empowered by having that Sheen, the build of the Zhonya starting here from Xiaohu. Stopwatch available, so there's a couple on RNG, and especially the Jarvan. Let's see if they fight with it.
The Aatrox seems to be, he has position over the Akali, but he's in a dangerous position at that, so he needs to watch himself. Good decision to be able to get over the wall. Those are the small details that you need to be able to call for and good communication alongside the Dominus to still put them in a good spot, but watch out, Mark.
I mean, this is just going to be the poke away from RNG. Uzi in a great position once again. As Natural still in the bottom lane, he's backing away without teleports. So Akali will not be able to see this in the brush, but RNG still has position over the mid lane.
Yeah, but because of that position that they have, it should just be Jarvan starting that dragon on his own. There we go.
Yep.
So he's going to be completely safe in doing so with the great amount of vision control that they have in the area. So that's going to be RNG being able to pick up this dragon for themselves.
Well, maybe. Xiaopeng's in the back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to survive for another day.
The amount of times I've seen someone take a blast code or just hop over too early in the past couple of weeks has been too many. As he continues pushing mid. So Ocean Dragon picked up here for RNG, their first elemental of the game. And next one is going to be Infernal. So expect to see another fight down there in about 4.5 minutes if it's not around that Baron area just for vision.
This is what I love from RNG the most. Games like these where they can just kind of take a step back and recognize the goal of their composition really is far off.
Super rare that we see games like this in the LPL, and it's not about the slowness, it's about preparing your composition for that, right?
Because they match. Yep. They match pace whenever possible. If they're able to dictate the pace, they're completely fine with being able to slow it down to what best allows, Uzi to thrive through these fights. And then a lot of the times, if you go up against teams like LNG, Invictus Gaming, they will ramp up the pressure.
Remember the RNG series versus Top Esports, where Top Esports didn't let them play that pace, where Top, yes, ran over them, but there was no chance given for them to get towards those spikes, get towards that positional advantage the comp requires.
So I love the flexibility of RNG, and I'm pretty upset that at times during the most, let's say the largest spotlight moments, and international events is a great example of that, or when you're in a game 3 that you tend to rely so heavily on one talented player that you forget that your team is pretty damn good as a whole, that they can play so flexibly, and that it's a shame that they tend to bottleneck their compositions. This time around, it's really good, and this is the type of RNG you want to be able to see. So
we didn't get your game 3 against Top Esports composition, Raz, so that'll be seen depending on how far this goes.
What do you mean?
The Lulu mid, the supportive composition we're talking about, where the bottleneck you were just mentioning.
Yeah, we should have done the top show.
Yeah, no, just reminding you, some people tune in.
That's true.
It's a Tuesday.
That's true.
Right?
You guys need to, and if you haven't seen that game, please watch that game. There's a really fun one between RNG and Top Esports. Be able to get to see the strength of both teams and technically the weakness of both. And as we near playoffs, that certainly becomes the focal point. Remember, RNG, all of these top LPL teams winning to spring playoffs, kind of a great, I guess, a great focus on a lot of those vulnerabilities where JD were able to take advantage of multiple ones. I think that they were a very smart team being able to do so, and you get to see best of 5s to its fullest. This time around, I think they have so much pressure on Baron buff that it's going to have to be Dominus that plays a far more creative game. It's really tough, especially if you're a team, if you look at the composition that Dominus have, they don't, like, their creative points is literally the Lee Sin hop kick or natural being able to find that backline. You need to see something like that. Otherwise, they are going to get caught by this play from RNG.
Or it's someone like Mark on the Rakan, right? Finds that engage, the miracle knock-up.
But I don't necessarily agree with that, because if he does go in, what's the follow-up going to look like? I don't think there is a credible follow-up unless if it literally is Xiaopeng comboing that with the kick himself.
Okay.
Remember, if Rakan goes in, if the Alistar is nearby, that's an easy headbutt pulverized combo that will be able to counteract that. So these are points that you'll be able to kind of clue into, and maybe Mark does find that influential charm, but it's going to be a tough one, especially if you look at the enemy composition. There's an Ezreal there, an Alistar that say, yeah, hit me. I'll take it.
I like that.
And you look to the rest of them, and it's like, yeah, it's the same vibe, same idea. Akali's near, so you might see RNG all into this vision.
They're grouping up. Twilla's here by himself for now, but with GALA and Xiaopeng on the other side, they might actually go forward. Twilla poked out as Karsa gets tagged. RNG still backing lane. We're getting towards that 30-minute mark where for RNG, they've hit 3 items on the Ezreal, Lich Bane here on the Sylas, and there's been no priority for the Zhonya's Argos because we've got Morellonomicon once again second here for Langx.
There we go. Double stopwatch. Gargoyle Stone Plate. This is as good as it can get right now at this stage for RNG to pick up these fights. And they'll still be pretty damn good in terms of like how their composition flows later on through that poke. But as it stands, it's a really good spike to have.
They have lost positioning over the Baron for now. DMO forced their way in because The Corki has the package available, but the jump on from RNG. Mark does go in, but that's an afterthought as the Cataclysm locks down 3 members. A 2-man kick as Natural now finally joins the fight, but is it too late? Natural will drop, and in the end, that's going to be Twilla as well. This for DMO could turn around, but Uzi's still alive. He's hitting on the back end. It's Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot. GALA has to disappear, burning his flash in its sway.
It's so difficult to find out who is going to be coming out with a greater edge in these fights. Dominus with a flank with Natural, but the obvious winner being RNG, with Ezreal just being so well protected.
I mean, he still has his flash up and available, and meanwhile, we look down bottom because Xiaopeng's like, man, we almost lost that fight whole-handedly. They need to pick up the double Infernal, and I like the sneak.
I mean, they should be able to get it. Really good job, because that should have been an RNG Dragon with how well they played that last one. Don't get caught out. They might get sandwiched here.
Trying to seize the red buff Uzi here with the blast cone. He manages to dodge 1, but not 2. Here with the Arcane Shift not available, he finally gets the backup available. The poke's there, true shot run. He survives for now, but almost takes him out as Langx coming in. Package is there as well. Now the Akali, that's the 1v3, but I don't think this is possible. DMO get fed the kills, and even a teleport coming out, they're heading towards mid.
That's a very easy Baron buff, I will say. If they can get these kills, perfect.
Drifting Raz, Ming, no ultimate. No worries, DMO now have Baron open to them.
Just like that. You get a great fight, your RNG, and then it turns on you. They knew they were behind them. The Dragon got taken by Dominus. It's not as if they didn't expect them to be in that position, and now they lost out so much. This should be a pretty easy Baron buff, but you're right. I mean, Jarvan's going to be looking for it.
I mean, Natural's zoning him away. He's got the level advantage. Of course, it should be easy. DMO with Baron. And suddenly, we're thinking, where does it go from here?
Look, Dominus is in a really good spot.
Yeah.
Overarching composition is in their favor. Like Corki, the Xayah, already proved to be incredibly frustrating for RNG in the first fight, even though RNG won that fight. Just think about how many perfect engages were used on that one. The Alistar being able to flash straight through. In fact, we'll see it right now. Even the follow-up from the Jarvan ultimate makes you believe that RNG is going to win this fight. But you just see so many ways to being able to get out of that one. The Valkyrie that comes through, GALA being able to buy so much time and still being able to hold his ground. And then, of course, Uzi's able to deal a lot of damage on the backside. Natural takes up a lot of damage. If this went longer than usual, Mark could have been able to find that pop-up. But Dragon was taken.
Yeah.
You knew that this was going to happen. They just thought that they could fight out of it. Of course.
I mean, he almost did, which is crazy.
Well, even if you went over the wall, that's debatably worse for Uzi.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're just taking an extra risk, and it's involved. You lose the fight. Dominus is able to pick it up. And as you can see on the bottom left corner, that they are in position right now to be able to take this game.
I mean, for RNG now defending against the Baron, this seems so difficult. There's a 3k gold lead already amounting here for DMO with double Infernal picked up and another double Mountain ready for them later. Natural sitting on the bottom lane and trying to push.
RNG just don't have much wave clear within their composition. This is how they fight.
I mean, his Natural caught out. He's going to get charmed against the quickness. Natural almost heals up, but that's a big pick for RNG. GALA walking forward with the help of his support. This might be the final engagement. 2-man knockoff from Karsa. He drops down with the arena, and RNG still have Uzi, who's at full health and firing once again. They'll find one. Xiaopeng will get out and find another. But Uzi's there, 1v4.
How confident is he right now? Mark is on blinking red HP bars. If he finds that nice pick on his Q, he can extend this game a little bit more.
Through the gap in the wave. This is what it's going to require, though, because those health bars, they're at half.
He has Bloodthirster. He has the sustain. He can stick around and fight a little bit longer. But it's Dominus that's playing this game very intelligently.
They get the inhibitor off the back of the play. Death timers were long, so at least Uzi holds them off. But 3 down for RNG and the inhibitor true.
So you can see how difficult it is for RNG. Yeah, Uzi's completely fine. He's alive. The concern isn't him. It's the fact that if Xiaohu even breathes in these team fights, remember he doesn't have Aftershock for obvious reason for the laning phase, he's going to die instantly with that composition that's available. The Akali is no different. So you have melee assassins that are live and die hard. Like, they are very fast winners or fast losers. This is one of those examples of a fast loser. So Uzi is able to provide a lot of damage in this fight. Langx doesn't have a way in, and when he finally does, just gets popped instantly. And so that's the concern that you have when you're going up against the Dominus composition.
God, GALA's so aggressive as well. Walked forward every moment in that fight. After getting knocked up, still stayed in it. And the aggressive nature of DMO being shown.
And you said GALA was aggressive. I mean, take a look at the positioning that Uzi had in the outset of that fight. That he wanted to still find a play, 1v4. So these are the things you have to look out for in seeing if RNG can pick up these fights in what is looking like a seemingly impossible situation.
Yeah, 5k gold lead here for DMO. That double elemental about to be back up and available.
That boy has package.
Yep. Twilla's level 18 as well.
I just love watching Twilla's Corki. Globally, people don't want to see that Corki, but when Twilla has the pick, he has something in him.
And Xiaohu's popped out. Yeah, take that Sork potion. Let's go for a 1v1 because I think Twilla...
Cool down on Q's down.
He could win this. The anti-magic shield is there. He turns for a Xiaohu, gets the Kingslayer, going in for the 1v1. The package is used, but Xiaohu goes gold one. He takes a bit of an explosion on the way out. Meanwhile, the dragon secured by DMO.
That was not a healthy burst. Corki was like, all right, I will take that. I will take note of it. Goodbye. See you never.
Xiaohu backs to base. He's got 3 items. That's why that was pretty big. The Zhonya's Hourglass used. 3 items versus almost 4-item Corki. Twilla has those gigantic items in the Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge, Trinity Force. Zeal and a Hex Drink are tagged on the back of it as well.
Yeah, this comp that Dominus has is broken at this stage of the game. The creativity is definitely needed on the side of RNG to be able to, you know, really come into things. And right now, usually this is where you look towards Sylas as the X factor in fights. What ultimate are we really talking about here? The Lee Sin kick, I think, is the best one.
Yep.
Outside of that, you're not really finding anything that actually works well with the team in these overall fights.
Yeah.
Not the Rakan ultimate, because if he finds himself there, he's certainly going to die.
That's what he's been taking, though.
The movement speed, I think, is really nice to have. So that's something that I think is really beneficial.
Sure.
Corki, hell no.
He's got that one right now.
It's good poke. I'm not going to deny that.
Yep.
But not really relevant here.
Ooh, his natural caught out, has to flash. He was actually delayed from moving with the rest of DMO, so that's a summoner down.
Let's see if the Jarvan finds that.
Wow, 3-man Cataclysm. RNG go, but Karsa's just dead. DMO turn on him. He breaks the game as Ming comes back in. As Xiaohu trying to unglitch it. Uzi at half health, ignited away. And I think this is just it. He's over the wall, trying to survive. But this is DMO running after him. The Infernal Chains, the Arcane Shift again. While RNG turn for the rest of the play. And Xiaohu here can't stop the TP. Look at GALA. He wants to end the game.
He has a wave right now, too, so they can actually chase them now as much as they can. Maybe stop the base from the... Oh, he's teleporting now.
Yeah, here we go. DMO going to bring not 1, but 2 more people in. Uzi trying to TP in, but DMO take it handedly. We're going to a game 3.
There we go. You can't be taken and stopping Dominus's win streak that easily. They're going to still find that 3rd game. Xiaopeng comes in. GALA has a fantastic series himself. Across the board, Dominus looked more prepared in game 2.
Yeah, look on top of RNG. Some great team fighting to end it out. And, you know, it was that one fight towards bottom lane that showed you how Dominus mean business.
Yeah, we had a few good team fights this game. And a lot of it was around the idea of which team scaled a little bit better.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, when you are grouped up, Twilla and GALA is going to thrive, and you can see it in the damage chart. You have fantastic assassins in Akali and the Sylas, but they're not going to be able to really survive in extended fights. They tried to end it early. The Jarvan Cataclysms were great, but guess who's going to be able to get out of those free? The Valkyrie was pretty easy. The you know, Xiaopeng with the hop step. There's a lot of ways for Dominus to be able to disengage, and that was the major problem with, you know, RNG being able to pick those fights.
Comes down as well to the fact that the DMO, like that reset between game 1 and game 2, is a total different game 2 they came into, and it just looks so much cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Dominus played really well. I think I always believed, you agreed as well, that Xiaopeng was the better of the 2 junglers.
I did.
That was never a question. You know, it always comes down to how strong is the level of communication within the team. Well, when Xiaopeng came in with the first few weeks alongside Chang Kong, it was weak, very weak. This time it was definitely far better. I will say there was a great assist. RNG had that assist. And I'm going to continue to harp on it simply because you had the team fight mid. RNG won that. Then you're like, perfect. Let's see what can we get on the map. We had a mid lane pushed out.
It's a red buff.
I hear Dragon. Dragon was taken. They snuck it behind us. Okay. Let's take a red buff. Like, those are the ideas that you're like, is that safe to have? Is that a safe pick with multiple members? Not only having teleport. So even if you survive the initial onslaught, Corki still had the ability to come in right behind you. So there's a lot of that, you know, you have a question of greed that comes into it that plays a factor. And I think that when you have those one team fights, you have to think about base timings. That's literally the most important thing. Is about how long is the enemy dead for, what can we take before we get a proper base so they can't just retake vision. And it was literally, if we got the big win, we don't have many members alive, go straight towards the Infernal Dragon and go back to base. But they wanted to get everything around it. Everything! They're like, and then we'll take Dragon, and then we'll base with the red buff, with the mid lane shoved out. So even if they got everything they wanted, they would still get their vision completely cleared out. So it's like there was no win situation. No one should be happy about that.
Because you look after that and you're like, okay, all right, RNG, what's going on? But in the same sense, the DMO, great way to bring us to a game 3. And let's go to that right after this short break.
这边一个一闪，但是最后一下普攻被这边马哥给收走。正面剑魔好像有点无敌了，直接配合队友砍死了对面2个人，还在追。这个位置卡牌没有闪现了，能不能跑？一个黄牌晕一下，哇，这个位置应该是要死了。
这个3个人蹲的草丛刚好是没有红色方的视野的，蓝色方有个控制守卫。
这波可能是要杀 Y4 这里可能有点难走，自己收一个闪现和大招，看一下这里能不能杀掉。
先交漫天飞雨，再接闪现，盲僧2段 QQ 过去，踢回来，但是后续没有队友去跟上一个后续的输出了。盲僧看一下被 Maestro 吃掉，盲僧还想去找侠满，没有办法，侠直接送他走了。Flex 也阵亡，旁边左一无压力输出，再交一个简的闪现，只剩下一个弗兰朵，左一波 double kill， 弗兰朵再吃后续的伤害 ，triple kill 了左一。
这边塔姆率先倒地，直接被拍个大招斩杀，皇子一个大招又大到2人，直接秒杀1人，剩下司马老贼还在疯狂输出。 这边一个Nico进场打出4人，这个位置司马老贼能收割吗？司马老贼还在输出，
剩下一个卢锡安，卢锡安的位置也不是特别的好，那司马老贼完成了这一波的一个团灭。
后续还在跟输出，塔姆赶到战场非常的及时，但是 EZ 还是从旁边偷到了赵信双方打了一波1换1。
在这里的话是打了一波打野的互换，如果这边再死人是有可能被一波的，这里要小心一点，直接跳了上去，这里 Flex 有点危险，打出了一个春哥甲，但是明月桑这里是直接被阿修罗平 A 给收下了人头，下来之后这个 TP 是失了一个睡眠气泡，但是旁边没有关系，阿修罗又收掉了一个光辉的人头，一发平 A， 闪现躲一下飞心，收掉一个3杀，再下来平 A， 再接平 A， 虽然被这边的一个 Y4 给收掉，但是只能精神等死啊。
Nico 想过来抢进场了，但是位置并不是很好。没错，你率先被打残。虽然说也是一个开大牛的皇子，一个天崩地裂，盖住3个，要卖掉自己。皇子先行倒在地上 ，EZ 在屏幕的右侧疯狂的输出，要打一个温蒂看了一个金身 ，EZ 调整了自己的位置。阿修罗在屏幕的正下方，他疯狂的输出，配合自己的前排 ，EZ 一波 double kill， 还在不离出击，一个 Y4 也跑不掉，击法引魔刀扛不住 ，EZ 一波 triple kill， 最后一个人在草里回城，
闪现一技能，
哇 ，Q EZ。